We are continuing to track the bitter cold that has extended as far south as Florida. And for more on this, I do want to bring in Mike Boylan with Mike's weather page, who is currently in Orlando, Florida, tracking all of this cold weather. And Mike, during the commercial break, we were showing a live look of Orlando. It's still in the 20s here.
Well, I plan on being outside for this interview, but it's too cold. It's bitter cold out here in the Orlando Kissimmee area, and what a night it was with these snowflakes. You just showed in Tampa. Really magical, a rare event for a lot of folks. A lot of kids seeing snowflakes for the first time.
Yeah, I wanted to share that video if people were just turning on the TV to join us. This is snow in the Tampa area in Florida. And can you talk about just how rare this is?
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild.
It is. And, it started up around Tallahassee earlier in the day, and I was getting people texting, and it wasn't really expected. I mean, it kind of was expected, but this low was so powerful. It swung around and brought all this moisture down. Then it was snowing in Perry, and then it was Gainesville, and then it kept inching south. And I remember in '89, I think was the last time as a kid, and I was just learning to drive. And I remember I had an old Mustang, and it was beating snow off the top, and I was watching these white pellets, and that was it. That was really the last time in the Tampa area that I can recall. And so, yeah, it's definitely, and we just had snow 2 weeks ago. So this is the second snow that we've had in Florida this season.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about that because obviously it's very rare. But I mean, my gosh, we have seen some really cold temperatures across the United States, now extending down into Florida. Some of these records that had been, held since the 30s are now shattered. Can you talk about just how rare all of that is and what you've been seeing as you've been driving around?
Yeah, I saw a report. I think Disney covered their plants for the first time ever. I think, hopefully that was, real, but I think it was. And just, people running water through their pipes. I saw a couple people tag me in a post today that they actually had some pipes burst in the middle part of the state. So, yeah, and then to see 30s down in the actual Miami area, that's just unheard of. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. And, it's just amazing to me how weather can just flip a switch, and we've had these back-to-back fronts, and we have another one coming this week that we could see similar, possibly in just a few days.
And people in Florida are not used to this. They don't have the equipment. They don't have the clothing. Let's talk about the iguanas, though, because we always hear about this. But, iguanas can't handle the cold, and they actually, end up dropping from trees.
Yeah. It's real. I mean, it's a real thing. The National Weather Service a few years ago posted an alert that iguanas are going to be falling. Once it gets below 50 degrees, they just shut down, as Floridians do, and they fall from trees. And once they warm up, they come back. It's harmless, but it's true. And there's a lot of iguanas in South Florida. That's for sure. I mean, it's something about the South Florida. But they didn't pay for that. There's nowhere to go. They can't. Maybe down to the Keys. Maybe the Keys will. They have chickens running around the Keys. Maybe they'll start getting more iguanas.
So, Mike, I know that you're on the road. You're in Orlando, Florida right now. Where are you headed next? What are you looking to see or hear from folks out and about?
Yeah, it was fun overnight, keeping up with Pinellas County, where I live, and I had a friend in Madeira Beach on the water, and there was a softball tournament, and they started getting ice coming in, and my daughter had a softball game in Claremont. That's what we're here for, and it was the worst. I mean, we were out there. I mean, grown men in taco blankets and puppy dog blankets. I didn't care. It was so miserable, and the winds. It was like almost tropical storm force winds yesterday. I mean, it was howling. Like we had 40, 50 mile an hour wind gusts on top of, 30, 40 degrees. It was miserable. And Senator Moody had me do a video with her a couple days ago, just warning the residents here in Florida to stay indoors, because when you have single digits, I know they canceled a big softball tournament in St. Pete, and there's still kids playing here. I was talking to some parents, and it's like, why? Like, it's miserable. And it's not safe. When you're out there with single digits for X amount of time, you can get frostbite and hypothermia, so One thing I've learned with wind chills and stuff is your body has a natural heat barrier, and once you add a little bit of wind, that blows away your natural protection from the cold, and that's where this wind chill is a serious thing. Your body can't produce the heat, and all of a sudden the cold really sets in. So we got a couple days. Stay inside. Hang out, watch LiveNOW, and enjoy your inside while you can.
Yeah, I mean, and you bring up a really good point, Mike. I mean, we're joking about, iguanas falling from trees, but at the same time, it's so important to remind people who may not have ever experienced this type of cold in Florida before to take it seriously, to stay inside, to put on those layers, to maybe avoid extended exposure out in the elements, to make sure that your pets are taken care of if they're, you're taking your dog for a walk, because these are serious conditions that folks may not be used to. But Mike, I know you're out and about, you're hitting all the elements. We always appreciate your perspective, you taking the time to join us here to talk about weather and, see it as it happens. But my gosh, talking about snow for the second time this season in Florida is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, and this one was a little different because, there was a lot of hype building up to it about possible Central Florida snow, and to see it actually materialize, and to see how many people got to see snowflakes. I mean, it was an accumulation. I mean, I'm sure some Northerners are laughing at us, a couple of snowflakes, but, I mean, there's kids that haven't, a good friend of mine here in Orlando, his kids have never seen snow. So they saw snowflakes about 10 o'clock last night here in, Central Florida. So it was fun. I mean, weather's fun. All of us love weather, and it's always throwing us for loops. That's for sure.
Yeah, it always keeps us on our toes. Mike Boylan with Mike's Weather Page. We appreciate you joining us here on LiveNOW from Fox.
Thank you, Stephanie. Bye-bye.
And I did want to share this video once again, because as Mike was saying, some of these kids, some adults may never have seen snow in Florida before. This is the second time this season that this has happened. Another look at some video that captured the snowflakes flying in the Tampa area. Incredibly rare. This is Gulf effect snow. So this is similar to lake effect snow when you have all of that warm moisture hitting that really frigid air, and this is what happens. And so people were enjoying snow in Florida. All right, we are going to just step away for a brief moment. We have a lot more coverage to get to. Stay with us.